geometry, we have 9 theorems, and this is the second one. Second is geometry theorem, and you know that we're busy with circle geometry in grade 11. We did a whole lot of quadrilaterals in grade 10, and there's stuff coming in grade 12 as well. But this is never going to fall away. The second theorem says, the angle at the center of a circle will be twice the angle at the circumference if, big word, subtended by the same chord or arc. Right, now if I talk about subtend, it means like pitching your tent. If you're pitching the tent, this is the piece that's subtending it. It's underlying it. It's making the anchors if you want to. So if I'm talking about angle O there, here, that's the angle at the center, so it has to be a center. So in all of these cases that I'm showing you all the variations of, it's got to be the center of the circle, otherwise this doesn't work. So if you've got an angle at the center, it will be double the angle at the circumference. Where's the circumference? On the side of the circle, right. So it's got to go from where it's subtended. I want to do that in black. This piece here subtends the angle at the center, subtends, underlies it, anchors it. And it could be an arc, like I've got on my sketch, or it can be a chord. If I drew a line there, it would have been a chord. Are you with me? It's now subtended by that arc. If I draw the line, it's a chord. It's the same thing. Subtended to the center. Then this one will be double that one. So let's make it A and 2A for the purposes of this sketch. So if I knew that this one was 50, this one would have been 100. That's the basics of it. But you must now know what an angle at the center of the circle looks like and an angle at the circumference. But it can't just be anywhere. They've got to both be subtended, and I'm going to show you a lot with my fingers, and you can do the same thing. But if you go from the center to those two pieces there, subtending it, and from those same two they go to the circumference, then I'm busy with the same thing. Subtended by the same chord or arc to the center to the circumference. Then that will happen. And this one, nobody ever misses. If you get into a sketch and you see this, because it's kind of like more symmetrical, are you with me? Almost. Mine is a little bit skewed, but most people won't miss this one. Because I'm teaching you to identify it inside of a sketch. But the other ones can be missed quite easily. If I draw, and I'll see again, AB is the one that is subtending. If I draw the other line, a little bit more skewed, is it still the same situation? Yep. But you've got to look for it. Look at my fingers going from AB to the center. And from AB, let's call it C, to the circumference. So that if this is 100, then this will be 50 or whatever you'd like to write there. Angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. But if I don't teach you to look for the squished one, you might not see it. Also, it's not really very different from this one, is if you don't squish it all the way, but you go, again, subtended by AB. You're not going to do that all the time. I'm just showing you how it subtends. And it goes to the center, but then it lies exactly on it. It doesn't matter if it's this side or that side. They've made it that side. If you go straight ahead there, is it also still this situation? It is. Because now it's just sitting on top of each other. Instead of being squished all the way around, or sitting nicely on top of each other, this line that should have been there is now squished to that side. It's still, the one is double the other one. Let's make it 80 and 40. Because I have to teach you to look for it when it lies on top of each other, when it's more squished. That one nobody ever misses after you know it for the first time. And then the last of the lot is also one that you're going to be identifying because it looks completely different. I'm not going to write anything in there, but I'm going to say that the angle at the center is now that one. Let's make it, should be around about, say, 300 degrees. That angle is subtended by what? Now it's a reflex angle, right? By what is that subtended? By AB degree. But AB can be here and AB can be there. It's this arc, huge arc, that subtends that reflex angle. And then that angle will still be double C. I always call it the squished in one or the popped out one or whatever. If it's not this one, it can be squished in and popped out like that one. So if that's 300, then this will be. And that's also one that you can, most of the time, inside of a big sum with lots of lines, also identify. But the main thing is, you know that an angle at the center, subtended by, you don't always have to identify it like I've done it there, but it makes sense now. So there's the arc, subtending that huge reflex angle. So that angle will be double the angle at the circumference. Is this one, the 150, is it also subtended by AB? Can you see it? Subtended going to the circumference, subtended going to the center. Although it's a reflex angle, so it's popped in. And that's what the theorem says. So inside of a sketch, you're going to have either one of those. Luckily for us, we don't have to write all those words every time. The abbreviation, like always, is just, read it with me. Angle at the center of the circle is twice the angle at the circumference, but they have to be on the same chord or arc. Right. Example. Now guys, remember we start small. A sum for your test and it will be worth 2 marks. Find x. What do you see? Theorem 2. You're going to go for theorem 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 9 of them and see what's happening, but this is so obvious. Can you see theorem 1? Usually the sum will also say, O is the center of the circle, and usually it's got a little big dot there. They usually tell you that. So can everybody see what x is? Yes. What is it? 5. There's the mistake.
No, 20.
It's 20. Because the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. What do you need to write? 20. X is 20 for 1 mark, and that's it.
Angle at the center.
Reason? Angle at the center of a circle is twice the angle at the circumference. Boom, finished. 2 marks. Is it always going to be that easy? Unfortunately not. Okay. I'm giving you 3. These 2 are nice and easy. This one's got a little bit more edge to it, but I'm sure you'll get it right. Okay.